Every story has twists, a surprise opportunity, a sudden goodbye, a diagnosis, a message that changes everything. Some twists are exciting, some are confusing. Welcome back to the story you become. This episode is called Plot Twists and Trauma. Up to a point, your life may feel like a continuous line, not easy but understandable. Then something happens that doesn't fit who you believed you were or how the world was supposed to work. It might be an accident, a betrayal, a sudden loss, abuse, a disaster, or a series of smaller hurts that, together, feel like collapse. Trauma isn't only about what happens outside, it's also about what happens inside. How overwhelmed your nervous system feels, how helpless you are in that moment, how alone you are with what happened. In story terms, trauma is when the plot not only twists, but tears. Imagine someone named Sarah. Her story used to sound like this: I come from a good family. I work hard. I take care of people. Life is stressful, but basically fair. If I'm careful, nothing truly awful will happen. Then, one night, there's a car crash. Someone she loves deeply does not come home. In the weeks that follow, her old narrative dissolves. The new inner lines might be: the world is dangerous. Anyone can vanish at any time. I should have prevented this. There's no point in planning. The story isn't just different, it's incompatible with the old one. Parts of her may still cling to the earlier belief, hoping to rewind time, while other parts feel stuck in the moment of impact, replaying it over and over. In this season, we've talked about reframing memories, updating narratives, and finding kinder interpretations. With trauma, we need to be very careful. Some experiences are too heavy to be reframed by willpower alone. They may require time, safety, supportive relationships, and often professional help to process in a way that doesn't reopen the wound. Trying to force a positive spin like, this made me stronger, when you're still in pain, can feel like gaslighting yourself. If trauma is a hole torn in the story, healing is not about pretending the hole isn't there. It's about growing life around it. Imagine a tree that was struck by lightning. The scar remains, the trunk is changed, but with time, new branches still grow, new leaves still appear, birds still rest there. The strike becomes part of the tree's story, but not the whole story. In human terms, this can look like letting others know what you've been through so you don't carry it alone. Finding spaces where your experience is understood. Allowing yourself moments of joy or connection without feeling like you're betraying your pain. Gradually rewriting the line from "this is where my life ended" to "this is where my life was split into before and after, and I am still discovering who I am in the after." Imagine your life as that book we talked about earlier this season. What would you call the chapter that holds this experience? It might be the day everything changed, the night I lost myself, the time of not knowing, or something else entirely. Let a title arise that feels true to how it feels, not how you think it should sound. There are kinds of pain that are too big to hold alone. Trauma can live not only in thoughts, but in the body, in hypervigilance, nightmares, sudden surges of fear, numbness, or feeling disconnected from yourself. If you recognize yourself here, support from a trauma-informed therapist or counselor can be an important chapter in your story. Getting help is not a sign of weakness or not coping. It is often a sign that you have carried too much for too long on your own. Asking for help is a way of saying, I deserve a story that is not only about surviving. Thank you for listening to Plot Twists and Trauma. Not every twist in a story is beautiful. Some are brutal, unfair, and leave marks that never fully fade. You do not have to call those marks blessings. You do not have to forgive before you're ready or find a silver lining on command. What you can do over time is allow your life to keep expanding around what happened, to let more pages be written beyond the worst one. If this episode stirred up a lot, please be gentle with yourself after you listen. Move your body, drink some water, reach out to someone safe if you can. In our next episode, side characters and co-authors, We'll explore how other people's stories intersect with yours, the ones who hurt it, the ones who help it heal, and the ones you get to choose as co authors of your next chapters. Until then, if your story has been broken, know this: the break is real. And still, somehow, you are here, listening, which means your story is not finished.